I.C.A.N, I-C-A-N. I've come up with an acronym. And like everything else I've done in this process of learning to speak up, whether it's the 5 original goals I had, or the action items that I try to do every day, or the journaling, I've needed to come up with systems for myself. It's just the way my mind works, the way I work. So this is my system for when I find myself in a social situation where I don't really know anybody, or I know one person. And yeah, it's I can, and I'll go through them step by step. But let me ask you, when you show up to a social gathering where you don't know anybody except the host, what do? You turn around and get the heck out of there, or go straight to the bar, have a couple drinks, and then game on? That's probably what I would have recommended not too long ago. But what I've been trying to do is, try to do better in these situations where I don't need that little boost, that little lubricant from the alcohol, and it's been going really well. So anyway, the I, initiate, get in there and introduce yourself. I heard this advice the other day from somebody I follow on TikTok. She basically said, do it right away. The longer you wait, the more awkward it's going to get, the harder it's going to get. If you're standing over there by yourself for, even a couple minutes, it's just going to be harder and harder for you to get into a conversation. So, find an open seat if people are sitting around the table talking, or just kind of, walk up if there's a group talking, and obviously don't interrupt. But as soon as you get the chance, introduce yourself. And it may feel awkward, but they're going to be happy you did it, because everyone else is just as hesitant to meet somebody new, but also they're looking for a connection, or more times than not they are. So it's going to be good for everybody. Just get in there, introduce. Hi, I'm Bradley. What's your name? It's or just be bold. Like, what are you guys talking about? And the second one, so that's the I, initiate. C is connect. And that's what I've talked about in previous videos. It's that whole active listening thing, where it's just, rather than just thinking about what you're going to say next, just listen and be curious. And if you have questions about what they're talking about, I talked about, having that hour-long conversation about whitewater rafting, because it was just so interesting. It was not in my, not part of my world at all. So it was really interesting to learn about this, and so many questions pop up. And then the third one, A, I-C-A, is add value. If they're telling a funny story or something, and you have a story that relates, add that in. If they have questions, you have answers. It's just after you've done your active listening, and you've picked up on what they're saying, and if you learned from them, yeah, you have something to add. You've had a lot of experience. If you're 50 years down the road like I am, you've lived a lot, and you have something to add to almost any, or literally any conversation. You can add something of value. So I-C-A, and then your N, I can, is nurture and close. And instead of just saying, oh, it's nice to meet you, all right, see ya, close with a compliment. I've talked about the whole, trying to compliment people every day, and it's something that makes people's day. It was nice to hear about, bring back one of their stories they were telling earlier. Just something personal, something that shows you were listening, something that shows you were really grateful to be a part of that conversation. So that's been working for me, and my few, like I said, I've been pushing myself to get into these social situations, whether it's 1 or 2 a month, and that's just something I keep in my head. It's not a robot where I have to, hit all these I-C-A-N, but it's just something to keep in mind and guide me, and just make me a little more confident when I'm in these situations, and it's been going really well. So try it out. Let me know if it works for you.